Children, if you watch that video, you will see that it's not the Democratic Alliance burning that flag. It is the coalition between the ANC, MK, and the EFF that is burning that flag.
About the flag, and I was saying that the Star's front page actually has a story about Zuko Madikana, a human rights lawyer, who's taking the party to the Equality Court. What's the Democratic Alliance's view on this case?
Oh, you've given me a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to say you guys again. And by you guys, I mean you and Mashudu Sadike, who wrote this article for the Star and for the Pretoria News. Because you accept that this guy is a human rights lawyer. Actually, if you just do a little bit of research, you'll find that he is a fraudster who was found guilty of fraud in January 2023 and who is taking us to court purporting to be a human rights lawyer when he's got actually no grounds to do it. Because if he was a lawyer, he'd look up PEPUDA, the Promotion of Equality and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act, and he would see that this doesn't qualify as hate speech. He's posturing.
Yeah.
And if you guys, like you, Aldrin, and Mashudu Sadike, did the slightest bit of research, the headline on this paper would be, bogus lawyer pretends to lay charges against the DA.
I'd actually advise you, Helen, to go and watch our paper run that we do every morning, and we actually raise that particular point about, does he actually have a case? Is this actually a matter that
is he actually a human rights lawyer? That's the first question. Is he actually a human rights lawyer?
The paper's reporting that he is a human rights lawyer.
That's why I say you guys. That's why I say you guys. You just pick it up.
What do you make though of this particular case, and also the division that came from the decision that the Democratic Alliance took to burn the South African flag, which is very provocative. Yeah, it has that provocative nature to it. But it also made some people feel that why would the Democratic Alliance be so violent in such an approach?
The one party that isn't violent is the Democratic Alliance.
Sorry?
The one party that is not violent is the Democratic Alliance. Now, Aldrin, if you watch that video, you will see that it's not the Democratic Alliance burning that flag. It is the coalition between the ANC, MK, and the EFF that is burning that flag.
If you want a match to it.
That's the whole point we're making. South Africa will burn to ashes under that coalition. And at the end of the video, you see the flag restored in all its glory. Rescue SA, vote DA. That's the whole point. South Africans surely can understand metaphor. We never burnt a real flag. That's a digital image.
It is still the flag.
And, well, let me tell you, when there was the protests that Ace Magashule was running in the Free State, they were literally burning real flags.
Helen, are you going to compare yourself to...
No, but the point is you've got a double standard. To even ask that question, you've got a double standard. So let me say this.
So we shouldn't ask the question because people protesting, was it in support of Ace Magashule?
Yes.
Is in support of Ace Magashule burned the South African flag, and therefore the question can't be asked to the Democratic
You can ask the question, and I'm answering you. Okay. We didn't burn any flag. We were showing graphically and through metaphor, which I think most literate people can understand.
Most literate?
And illiterate people. I mean, metaphor is absolutely woven into all our languages. So people understand metaphor, right? We're showing that if the ANC, MK and EFF come to power, South Africa will burn. Right. If we want to restore the flag and to restore the hope of this prosperous democracy that we once shared, the only way to do it is through voting DA. That's obvious. You don't have to be a professor to read that into the ad. This is all really what I call outrage manufacturing and offense seeking. There's so many people who...
But you knew that it was going to come.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
So you manufactured the outrage. You knew that it was going to come,
We
Helen.
knew that the manufacturers of outrage...
You manufactured the outrage. You knew that it was going to come.
We knew it was going to come, but that doesn't mean to say we created it. It means that we knew how many outrage manufacturers are out there and how many professional offense seekers there are out there, particularly in the media. You guys.
Let's quickly go... on the MK party, what's your analysis? What the MK party, or the threat that the MK party poses for the Democratic Alliance, especially with the multi-party charter, which has the IFP, and the IFP, which has a stronghold in the Western Cape. What does that mean for the multi-party charter?
Well, what does it mean for South Africa is much more important. Because if you look back, everyone's talking now about these 9 wasted years that we had under Jacob Zuma. It's common cause that he was deeply corrupt. It's common cause that with his friends, the Guptas and others, he was the architect of state capture and the collapse of our SOEs, our state-owned enterprises, the collapse of Eskom, etc., etc. That is accepted as common cause.
Yeah.
Yet, there are hundreds of thousands, I was going to say millions, but possibly even millions, hundreds and thousands of South Africans who are going to vote for him. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I don't know, Hellen.
I know.
I am the journalist here.
No.
You are no longer the journalist.
You know what? I'm allowed to ask you as many questions as you ask me.
What does it mean, though, for the multi-party charter? And we've already seen with the by-elections that they are taking away some votes from the IFP, of the ANC, as well as the EFF.
Well, you know, that side of of this political spectrum is crumbling. And what it basically means is that the ANC is on such a downward spiral that it will never recover. Its disintegration will become quicker and quicker. But I think we've seen with Mr. Khumalo and Mr. Zuma that they're not on such a sound footing as far as internal conflict is concerned. So what it basically means is that side of the spectrum of politics is fragmenting, and our side has to consolidate. And that's what it means.
Do you still believe that the EFF is behaving like a Hitler, like the Nazis?
Well, the EFF is very clear on its policy. They are very clear. They believe a supreme leader must control the party, that the party must control the state, and that the state must control the economy and society. That is totalitarianism. They say it themselves. I don't have to say it for them. They say it themselves.
Yeah, but do you still liken them to Hitler?
Well, any totalitarian regime, Stalin, Hitler, whoever.
Okay.
Ceausescu, whoever.
Hellen, thank you so much for your time.